So, the man behind the Hangover trilogy has made a comic book movie. This movie has been tossed around in the media as either a cinematic masterpiece or a cynical movie that will incite mass shootings and riots. Whatever you've heard about or agree with, you've definitely heard of this movie. If you couldn't tell from the title, this video has spoilers in it, so take that as a warning. So, here is my review of the movie Joker. As one of the handful of comic book movies to come out this year, Joker is nothing but a beautiful masterpiece which takes place in a gritty and dirty 1970s super rat infested Gotham. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is a new take on the famous character, and he does wonders. I'll be getting into more detail on certain elements of the movie and what makes him so great throughout this video. The cinematography in this movie is exceptional. Each and every shot is beautiful, and Lawrence Sher's use of cinematography is nothing short of genius. Lawrence gives us a way to connect with Arthur, and the camera gives us his perspective of Gotham and on his life. I'll be getting into more detail on how Arthur develops throughout the movie later in the video, but just the cinematography complements his transition from Arthur Fleck to the Joker so well. The camera angles in some scenes match how Arthur is feeling. When he finds out he's adopted, the camera switches to a high angle showing him to be small, representing how he feels in the moment. Scenes where Arthur is turning into the Joker feel really exciting, and this is exactly how Arthur feels. The cinematography makes it so you can understand Arthur, and this works really well. I think we could have all guessed that Joaquin Phoenix's performance was going to be great in this movie, and it really is. His performance doesn't even make it seem like you're watching Phoenix playing a character, it just looks like you're watching Arthur Fleck slowly transitioning to his dark side as the Joker. Phoenix's take on the famous Joker laugh is something that really makes his take on the Joker so unique. It's also disturbing and makes for some really great intense scenes, and this is just so clever and so great. Joaquin Phoenix does such a great job of showing the insanity build up within Arthur as the movie goes on. The way he's able to dance on the road of madness is just breathtaking, and he uses this to make the transformation from the start of the movie to the end of the movie just incredible. The scenes where Arthur is the Joker are just so great, because you can see that he is a completely different person and is a lot happier, and you really wouldn't get great scenes like those if it weren't for Joaquin Phoenix's amazing acting. In my opinion, his performance is up there with Heath Ledger's Joker, and that is just really great. I really do hope that Joaquin Phoenix is nominated for an Oscar, because he really does deserve it for this truly mesmerizing performance. If you would have told me a few years ago that there would be a comic book movie made to be a character study, I wouldn't believe you, because for one, all the comic book movies at the time and up to now just stuck to the same guidelines, and two, I wouldn't even know what a character study is. This is quite possibly the best way to have written Joker, and it really does bring to light that not all comic book movies have to follow the same guidelines to be great. And this will be a good first step to seeing a whole new take and style in comic book movies. We really are taken on a journey throughout this movie, as Arthur starts off as a sign twirling clown, who looks after his sick mother and is often beaten to the ground by Gotham, and because of all this, he is pushed towards violence. You do feel sympathy for him because you can see that his life is bad, but you also see an insanity and a darkness starting to burn behind his face where you don't feel bad for him, but you are put on edge by Arthur. And it's this element that makes you uneasy and you don't know what Arthur is going to do next. And it's because of this that you understand why he decides to commit to a life of terror and crime, because he's not been offered anything else to live for. I also love the concept that parts of this movie or even the whole movie are just inside Arthur's head. There are a few scenes where Arthur is with Sophie, played by Zazie Beats, where he is really enjoying being with her, and it's not till later in the film that we see that she wasn't actually there for any of those scenes, and it was all in his head. And that's what makes this movie so interesting. I think we're going to be talking about this movie for years to come. I'd like to quickly point out that the score by Hilda Guðnadóttir in this movie is fantastic. It really does go hand in hand with the cinematography. The music changes throughout the movie along with Arthur's feelings. You really do get a true understanding of how Arthur feels when he is the Joker by the use of the songs. The scene where Joker is dancing down the stairs with the song Rock and Roll Part 2 in the background is just so amazing to watch. All the scenes with Hilda's score playing are just so tense and chilling. The score and soundtrack really do wonders in this movie. I went into this movie knowing it was going to be good, but boy was it so much better than I could have expected. I cannot exaggerate how incredible this movie is. Joker is by far 100% better than Avengers Endgame. Everything about this movie is just phenomenal. All the elements of the movie complement each other. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is outstanding and it goes well with the perfect cinematography, and the score is just fantastic. But the thing is, I can guarantee that if this was a character study of a different character, it would not be getting the recognition that it is now, sadly. I also think that the media is being overly sensitive about some of the scenes in this movie and the movie as a whole, saying that it glorifies violence and it will incite mass shootings, etc. But I don't think people understand that that's the Joker, and that's how he looks and laughs at the world, as a hypocritical place, and uses terror to point that out. I don't want this video to get political, so I'm going to quickly change topic. The total budget for this movie was $55 million, and compared to Shazam's budget, which was $100 million, it really does put into perspective that you don't need to spend a shit ton of money on a comic book movie for it to be great. I can imagine that a really big challenge that writer Todd Phillips came across in this movie is taking a character who is evil or turning evil and having him to be the protagonist without there being a good person saying, "You can't do this, it's bad." But I think he understood this and did it anyways, because the lack of a good/heroic character really makes this movie much more unique than it already is. In my opinion, this movie gets a 10 out of 10, and I really hope to see more unique comic book movies like this in the future, and I also look forward to seeing brilliant character studies like these. I know this isn't my usual type of video, but I really did enjoy making it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Hopefully I can make more videos like these in the future for other movies.